High agency is about finding a way to get what you want without waiting for conditions to be perfect or blaming circumstances. One trait I have seen consistently in people who produce successful products is that they are very bad at making excuses. That is the core of what high agency is. Now, as people hear this, for some people, it kind of creates very strong resonance because they feel like, oh, yes, I am like that. Then there will be other people who listen to this and then they say, but, I am also like that. I want to be more high agency, but my boss won't let me. Or the company I work at does not support this approach. Or I did not go to the right colleges. I was high agency in my early childhood, but I did not go to the right college. Or I did not go abroad for my studies. I got held back. I did not get the right first or second job. I got laid off at some point, and then it took me a year or two to find a job, and that kind of set me back. And now I am forever behind all my peers, right? I did not do computer science. My parents told me the only right form of engineering is mechanical engineering, so I ended up doing that. But now I realize I should have done computer engineering, computer science. And so, like, I would love to be high agency, but like, I'm a mechanical engineer trying to make it work in a sea of computer science, computer engineering people. So these are all the buts, right? Like, and there is no end to the buts. And therein lies the problem, right? Because if you want to be a high agency individual, you can still recognize these, let's call them facts. Oftentimes, these are not facts, but let's just call them facts just to satisfy this person who has buts. It is important for you to recognize these facts, but not let these facts get in your way. Because, like, if you're constantly just looking at the past and things you cannot change, I was born with the wrong skin color, I was born with the wrong this, the wrong that, right? Like, in the wrong part of the country, right? Like, all of that, like, if that's what you are going to focus on, and then if you say, but I want to be high agency, but all of this is holding me back, the truth is you are not going to be a high agency individual, right? And there is no skill, there is no program, there is nothing that will fix this for you other than you working on yourself. There is nothing I can say other than what I've already said that will get you to address this. Because when you want to find reasons why you cannot be high agency, the very definition of high agency is what? Again, I'll repeat, is about finding a way to get what you want without waiting for conditions to be perfect or otherwise blaming the circumstances. And look, there are people who will just say, no, I disagree, and it's fine. But what I'm trying to tell you is then you cannot say that you want to be high agency because you have to take that first step. That is, I think, the main message I want to convey on this topic. And perhaps one last thing I can end with is just sharing a quick view of the core components of high agency. So if I can share my screen again, there's an article on LinkedIn where, like, it's a very brief article where I've described high agency, and you'll see. By the way, nothing I'm telling you is entirely new. This excerpt you see is from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I highly recommend that you read that book. And many people say, oh, like, oh, I've already read it. I read it in my 20s. No, no, no. Read it again. Because most people, when they're held back in their career, it turns out, in their PM career particularly, it turns out that they actually don't understand one or more of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So, like, don't just look for the fancy new book. Read this old book. But again, you will see that, like, nothing I'm telling you is new. Perhaps the thing I have, uniquely added to this kind of space and to this conversation around high agency is this. So, like, I want you to think about high agency as being split into traits and skills. And there are 3 traits and 2 skills that are essential for high agency. So the traits are a mindset of ownership, self-confidence, which one needs to build, resilience, right? And then skills. Skills are creative execution and influential communication. And influential communication is key. As a PM, particularly, if you are going to be high agency, that means that you're going to have to influence others. And luckily, influential communication is something absolutely you can work on. So those are the core traits and skills. So think about these, right? And traits are harder to change. So they'll require more work. They'll require longer term work. But I'll tell you, it's absolutely worth it if you are willing. So I hope that helps.